Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Burial Ground. I'm your host, Jack Franzino, here with Clyde Anderson. And right off the bat, of course, this is a very different show than normal. I'm wearing a bathrobe, and it's not necessarily how it's supposed to go because, unfortunately, I do have COVID, but I just had to have this show. And I'm sure Clyde could say the same thing for him as well. So we really just wanted to have the show. This is going to be a huge show. Clyde, tell him what we're doing today.
We're gonna have a prediction show for the summer. Once we come back in the fall, we'll talk about our predictions on our season premiere show of the Burial Ground this fall, 2022. As we go on WPOP 10.
So I guess let's just get right into it because we've got a lot to go through, as we were talking earlier. So the world titles are going to be the first thing that we're going to talk about. And I think this is one of the most easy ones to predict. Both of us are probably in agreement here, where we think Roman Reigns is going to hold on to that world title, the unified world title, for the entire month, or the entire summer, I should say.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I strongly believe that Roman Reigns will push his number of Universal Heavyweight Championship reign to like at least 800 days by the end of the summer. As much as I don't like heel Roman Reigns, this is best for business, it's best for professional wrestling, it's best for all of us.
Yeah, no, I definitely do think that this is a huge step for Roman. But do you think someone like Cody, or maybe even like anyone else, even a Gunther or someone, could end up taking one of the world titles from him? Or do you think that's gonna be it?
No,
I mean, that would be early for him, of course. He just got to the main roster, but I think that he has a possibility. Who knows? Maybe Veer could do it. Veer is squad all over.
I can honestly say the first time I've been pushing, and he hasn't debuted yet, and he probably debut after May once he graduate college. Gable Stevenson. If it's not Cody, I can see a Gabe Stevenson coming in and becoming a world champion as quickly as Brock did in like 6 months. If Gabe Stevenson don't come by May, I can see Cody organically winning the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, not the Universal, but the WWE Universal Championship, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship by SummerSlam.
Gotcha. And now sticking with world titles, let's go over to the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. I know we were talking on the show and saying how CM Punk is the newest challenger. And personally, I am going to think that CM Punk is going to beat him. And CM Punk will hold on to that world title for the rest of the summer after he does defeat him.
I'm also in agreement with you. We don't ever bet on Punk, and you don't bet on Punk in Las Vegas, like he said, because what happened 11 years ago in Las Vegas, he dropped an infamous pipe bomb that transcended the professional wrestling world, which made it much better than it was 12 years ago. So Punk winning a world title in Las Vegas, it's highly most likely that he will. And then he's going to go to Forbidden Door as a world champion. He could challenge a New Japan Pro Wrestling wrestler that has his finisher maneuver. I can't think of his name right now, but I see the AEW second year Summer of Punk, and Punk actually running through the Summer of Punk as world champion and retaining headed to the fall of 2022 as the AEW World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, I agree. He should be set to face him at Double or Nothing, if I'm not mistaken, which is end of May. And yeah, it's the perfect timing. Have that Summer of Punk 2.0. I think that'll get most wrestling fans buzzing a little bit just to hear those infamous 3 words, Summer of Punk. We know how it went the first time around with him in WWE back in 2011.
That wasn't even the first one. The first one was in 2005 when he was.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, my bad. Yeah,
this will be like Summer of Punk AEW 2.0 of AEW Summer of Punk, but Punk will be world champion this time, heading into the Summer of Punk, and who knows who will be challenging CM Punk during the Summer of Punk.
Yeah, plenty of competitors in AEW, but I think we're going to have to move on now to talk about some of the women's world titles as well. So for the Raw Women's Championship, we've got Bianca Belair, who currently has that title. How do you see her title reign going this summer?
I I think it'll be better than last summer. There won't be no slip ups where Bianca is like surprised that a newcomer is challenging her. I think Bianca will push that title all the way towards the fall, and I believe that one of those fall pay-per-view events she will eventually lose the world title. Okay. But Bianca has defeated three members of the Four Horsemen women's. But I'm foreseeing the future. I do see Bianca losing the title, then challenging Charlotte for a world title at WrestleMania 39 in Hollywood.
And I'd want to see that match for sure.
I do see her completing the impossible of defeating all Four Horsewomen.
Yep.
Yes, I do see Bianca as champion when we come back on, but she'll probably most likely lose it right after we come back in the fall.
Okay, so yeah, I'm also in agreement with you there. I do think that Bianca Belair is probably going to hold on to the Raw Women's title for the entirety of the summer at least. Have a great reign, showcase her abilities, have some great matches throughout the reign, hopefully. And then maybe someone such as Asuka, or there's plenty of talent that could potentially take the title from her. But I think right now she's pretty safe a safe bet to hold on to that world title. And now for the SmackDown Women's Championship, Charlotte Flair currently holds it. She's going to be facing Ronda Rousey in an I Quit match, so there's going to be no excuses. The better woman will end up winning. And personally, I have Ronda Rousey in that match. I think that Ronda's probably going to win the title. I don't think she's going to drop it during the summer as well. So I would say Charlotte's going to have it until Backlash. And then after Backlash, Ronda Rousey's probably going to hold on to it. She's going to win whatever match she has at SummerSlam. There's a couple of great matches on the table, of course. And Ronda Rousey's probably not going to drop it till about WrestleMania or so. That's just my pick. What about you?
That's a good suggestion, because she could face Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 39, and Charlotte could face Bianca, but Charlotte will be somehow, some way, if there's a draft, Charlotte will get to Raw and become Raw Women's Champion. But yes, I'm in total agreement with you. I do see Ronda retaining her world title all the way towards WrestleMania, but some way, somehow, I believe Becky will probably win at WrestleMania next year again against her.
All right, fair enough. And now the AEW World Title for the women's. Thunder Rosa is the current champion. Do you foresee her losing this belt anytime soon, or is she just going to have a great summer?
I haven't seen really no real competition for her, so I do believe she could probably most likely retain it throughout the summer. But headed towards the fall, she'll probably lose it to probably Ruby Soho. One of these ladies that came from WWE to AEW got to make some noise, because they're eventually going to be wanting to leave the company and go independent. So I see one of these former WWE superstars like Ruby Soho probably taking the title from Thunder Rosa.
All right. I could see that for sure. I actually do have a former WWE superstar that's going to win this title from her, but it's someone that hasn't really been with WWE in about a decade or so. And one of the former accomplices of CM Punk back in his straight edge society days, Serena Deebs.
Deebs, oh no. You think so?
I think she could. Right now she's up there with the contenderships. I was looking at the rankings, and I think she might be the number one, maybe number two. I think number one, though, contender for the women's title at the moment. And, imagine her winning it, then CM Punk also wins it. I could see them doing a storyline like that. I know they were relatively close outside of the ring, of course, before they had that stable. And, I think if CM Punk is going to have a long title reign, we all as wrestling fans, as much as we enjoy and appreciate a babyface CM Punk, I think we all secretly deep down inside want to heel CM Punk. And having someone like Serena Deebs to potentially push him to that dark side could potentially be a good storyline, an interesting storyline. Right. It could get some buzz around the company again. It'll bring callbacks to that era. And then having a heel CM Punk as champion would set him up to face a lot of great baby faces down the line, which I think is what we all really want to see. There's a lot of great babyface talent in AEW right now. So having CM Punk with the world title, and then having Serena Deebs kind of be his little accomplice as the world champion of the women's division could just set them as like the end all be all for AEW, and that would be just a good visual for this wrestling promotion to have.
That sounds fair. A fair assessment.
Yeah.
So we have the AEW Tag Team Championship. The current champion is the Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus.
Yeah.
I think they're going to retain their AEW Tag Team Champions throughout the summer or not?
I don't think so. As much as I do enjoy them as a tag team and was really looking forward to them winning these belts, they've had a pretty solid reign so far. And one team in particular that I think you should keep your eye out for is the Blackpool Combat Club, aka Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson, because I think if they're going to be in the tag team division, they're probably going to win the tag team titles. It's only makes sense in my mind, at least. Two of the premier talents in all of wrestling. They're gonna have their way around this feud. They're gonna end up. They're already like top 5 in contendership status.
Yeah, they're number 4. Are they babyface or heels, or are they tweeners?
I would guess they're more tweeners than anything. They lean babyface, I guess. But Bryan Danielson was a heel originally, right. But it's just he has that following where like his fan base is just going to cheer him regardless because they know how good he is in the ring and outside of like just on the microphone as well. He's just one of the best talents that they currently have, and I could see him having a nice tag team title reign with Jon Moxley. I think that would get the tag team division, or that'll just make AEW as a company look phenomenal if they have like these world champions moving forward, like with the Punk on the top of the division, and then when we get to the mid-card titles, we'll get to the mid-card titles, but then having Punk, or not Punk, I'm sorry, I'm a little out of it still.
Scorpion Sky is a TNT champion, and you got Jay Carter as a TBS champion, and you got Austin Theory is the United States champion, and you got Ricochet as the Intercontinental champion. So those are the mid-card tiers for AEW and the WWE.
There's a lot of talent with that whole group. Like these guys and girls really know how to work their way around the business and just make for some interesting, entertaining television. I think that for that tag title, it will end up being Blackpool Combat Club. And then for the women's tag titles going to WWE, since we're already on tag teams. So currently it's Sasha Banks and Naomi. They've had this title since WrestleMania. And honestly, I don't know if I see anyone beating them over the summer. Like, I don't know, maybe a Doudrop and a Nikki ASH, since Nikki, almost a superhero, always seems to win the tag belts with whoever she's partnering with.
Well, yeah, she dropped the superhero gimmick, I heard.
Officially?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Okay. It happened the last couple of days. I think it was on there. I think it was on Twitter that she announced.
Okay. All right. My bad. All right. Because, maybe having this new partnership with Doudrop. Like Doudrop is a very great wrestler. I would want, if they're going to change Nikki ASH's name, can they please change Doudrop's name too? Like if they're going to be pairing them together. They gotta just come up with something.
We still got Gunther.
Yeah. We could have a whole show about name changes if we really wanted to.
We could, right?
We truly could.
It's for IP purposes that they're doing this for the WWE. Intellectual property.
Yeah, but like Doudrop wants the intellectual property. Doudrop.
WWE wants the intellectual property.
But why? That's so annoying. I just don't see why they think this is a good idea in the slightest.
I'm in agreement with you with the women's tag team championship for the WWE. I think Naomi and Sasha will be retaining those titles. I don't think anyone currently gonna really challenge them for the summer. Okay. What about, let's go back to AEW, the TNT champion. You got Scorpion Sky. I guess Frank Kazarian is probably his number one contender, since Punk is the number one contender for the world title. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that?
I am a huge fan of Frankie Kazarian, going all the way back to his TNA days, at least. I used to watch TNA in like 2008, 2010, that whole era, and like he was one of the best wrestlers there. That like he was just a homegrown talent from there, and it would be nice to see him win the TNT title. I just don't think he's gonna get it. I could see Scorpio Sky dropping the belt over the summer, but I could see someone like Miro winning it back. Miro, who has been out since about November, he lost the title, and we haven't really seen him since. He's been nursing some injuries, and also he's been filming a pilot episode for some sort of a television show. I'm not too sure about the details on that, but I do know he's probably going to be back this summer at least. And when he's back, I think having one of the best former TNT champions return and get that title right back and try to bring it back to its former glory could be a fun, good storyline. I think Miro is one of the most imposing figures in the business. He's also just one of like the funniest, chillest guys as well. Like I've personally met Miro and I love the guy, but for like that short interaction that we had, like I went up to him asking for an autograph. He was in the middle of a workout and he came up to me at the end of his workout personally to be like, hey, do you still want that picture? Like he was so chill, great guy, and I want to see him do, like, I just want to see him win the world title for that matter. I don't think he's going to win that title this summer, but getting him back to that mid-card championship, I could see Miro winning the TNT title from Scorpio Sky in a great series of matches. What about you?
Sammy Guevara is the only 3-time world champion.
Yeah, you think he's going to get that 4-time championship status? Go ahead of Cody? I could see them doing that just to like spite Cody.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Tony's that spiteful, but these millionaires, they can be doing spiteful stuff. But yeah, I can see Sammy somehow slithering his way back to the TNT championship contender list and getting the title during the summer.
All right, so you think it's just going to be Sammy Guevara winning it back, and then he'll hold it for however long?
I see him winning again, but he'll probably drop it by the end of the summer.
What about like a Malachi Black and Andrade? There's so many other wrestlers that I think would be great with this belt.
I think Malachi Black should at least be focusing on going for like a world title.
Okay. Yeah, that could be a great match. Him and Punk.
Yeah.
The
story that they can tell, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about it. Like,
that's gonna be my favorite storyline whenever that's happening. I could guarantee you that. Yeah. Oh man, Malachi Black / Aleister Black. He was one of my favorite guys when he was in WWE. Like I really, really wanted to see him succeed.
Me too.
And they completely dropped the ball with him. So
big time.
Yeah, I want to see him have a great summer, build his way back up to contention status. And yeah, like this House of Black trio or so that he's got, Buddy Matthews / Murphy with him as well, a couple of other guys, like they are all really good at what they do. And having this like spooky gimmick is only going to make it that much better when Bray Wyatt shows up, and then they have the real spooky wars. And I can't wait. Maybe Matt Hardy gets involved, going back to the
great crowd. You tell a great cinematic storyline with all 4 of those guys alone.
Yeah, there's so many different possibilities for wrestling this summer if they really wanted to get into it, and just in the future. That's why like I got so into wrestling again. Like the different gimmicks that they have, they just feel like they all are like going back to the core of what wrestling is supposed to be, where like you've got some of like like you have some of like these spooky gimmicks. You've got some of the people that are just like the down-to-earth baby faces and like just the bitter heels and all of that. Like it's perfect. It's perfect for what we got. And then so many more in between / like just borderline like having multiple personalities type things.
Right.
It's interesting.
Do you see I guess the TBS champion Jay Cargill? She's still undefeated. She's 31-0. You see her still be undefeated at the end of the summer and still holding the TBS championship.
I do. Yeah. It's 31-0. It's a good run so far, but 31 isn't that big of a number just yet. I think they got to get that into the hundreds, got to raise their stock a little bit more, get people really starting to talk. They might be trying to approach Goldberg with her. I'm sorry. I kind of feel like a sneeze. But go on. Try to mute myself.
You think she'll surpass 173-0? Jack just
173.
He just sneezed off here.
I gotta get a tissue soon. But in the meantime, just to answer your question real quick, I want her to. Yes, I'm gonna go with yes. She's gonna. That'll take a long time. I really need to sneeze or like just blow my nose. But yes, Jade will do it. But give me your thoughts on Jade, and then if I'm not back by then, let me know how you feel about the Intercontinental title and what you think is gonna happen with it. I'll be right back.
Okay, so my thoughts on Jade Cargill. She's currently 31-0, TBS champion. So my thoughts with her heading towards the summer, continue the streak. I would love for her to eventually challenge whoever is the women's world champion at AEW's next pay-per-view event, which will be, if there's one in May, there should be one in August. So they only have like 4 pay-per-view events a year. So having Jade challenge the women's champion at AEW's next pay-per-view event will be very interesting. So that's where I see her at. But I see her still retaining her belt, or I can see that the 2 title matches could be like a disqualification. But yeah.
But you still think she's gonna retain the title, but she's not gonna beat 173 and 0.
Yes, I still believe that she's gonna retain the title. As in the record, I would love her to surpass Goldberg. But who knows? But who knows? But in regards to the Intercontinental Championship, which is held by Ricochet, correct?
Yeah. Think he's gonna hold on to it this summer?
No,
you have no faith in creative.
Nah, the WWE is religiously known for not pushing, the people that they should be pushing.
That's fair.
Challengers for the Intercontinental Championship. Honestly, who I would love to see as the IC Tag champion again? Who haven't had the belt in a minute? I would like to see Sheamus.
I don't think he's ever had the belt, actually. He's won like every other belt. I think that's the only belt that he hasn't won yet.
Sheamus never the IC champion?
Nah, not that I know of. He's won like the US title a couple of times, of course, tag champions a couple of times, both world titles that we've ever had. But no tag titles. That would make him complete like the Grand Slam. Unless, like, are you looking it up? You're frozen right now on my side, so I don't know.
Oh no. Oh my god. It's weird. I look weird. Oh my god, I'm frozen. I can't even see myself.
Wave around and fix it.
It's weird. Okay. Let me close this. Can you still hear me?
I could hear you fine, yeah.
Maybe I have to stop my video.
Okay.
All right.
I looked it up. It looks like Sheamus has never won the.
He never won the title. Not even.
But yeah, you know what? That'd be fun for him to actually get that. That would be a great nod for him. He deserves it for sure. I think Sheamus is one of the most underrated wrestlers. Nice.
That looked weird. Okay, but yeah. I would like Sheamus to go for the Intercontinental Championship and complete that.
Okay.
The Grand Slam package of world titles, Intercontinental, United States, and tag team. But what other titles we got to talk about?
Well, I do want to we only have about like 5 or so minutes less actually to get over this. We don't have much though. I do want to just quickly say, as much as I understand why you're pessimistic about this, I think maybe WWE is going to actually push Ricochet to the point where he has a nice long Intercontinental title reign. And so I'm going to pretend like this is not a bad prediction. And I'm going to say that Ricochet is going to hold on to it for all of 2022's summer. I think it's going to be a nice long title reign for Ricochet. They'll get a good storyline out of it, have a good payoff match at Mania. Like, that's what should happen. Like, he could have the best match on the card if they give him the right opponent for WrestleMania or whatever.
Yeah, correct.
But I don't know if they're going to, but I'm going to pretend like they are and hope that it happens. I'm just going to speak it into existence. But now, the US title, currently it's Austin Theory who holds it. Mustafa Ali is his current challenger at the moment. Do you think Ali is going to win it? Or if not, do you think anyone else is going to win it?
If Theory wins Money in the Bank, that's if he's enter into it.
I could see that happening.
He'll drop the United States title.
To who?
That's the question. To who?
Ciampa's on Raw now. Can have him
have the
title.
Ciampa's a heel. Ciampa. Damian Priest is a heel. It'll have to be a baby face.
Mustafa Ali? Or are you just saying no shot? He's leaving. He wants to leave. They're not going to reward him. What about Veer? I know he's another heel, but hey,
no.
mid card talent. Who else is even?
Who's it? Oh, I can see Lashley went, but then again, nah. Oh, you know who could win it?
Who?
Ezekiel.
Ooh, he could win it.
He could win it.
He could win it. You know, I wouldn't be that upset if they just gave him that.
Yeah.
Ezekiel. Yeah. This gimmick, not gonna lie, I thought it was really dumb at first.
Me too. I thought it would be dumb too, but I love it.
Exactly. It's like the right amount of dumb for my pro wrestling. Just like Kevin Owens, the way that he's able to get so annoyed at it too.
Right.
Like it is a lot better than I expected. And then plus, I didn't think about this. This is so small, but I love it. Like his name, or his former name of Elias, literally has the word lie in the name. And like he's a liar, he's Elias. Like, why the hell is this good?
If you not into wordplay, you would never guess that. I never thought of it until you just said it, so I would never have thought of that.
Yeah,
all right, so
it all makes sense. It's good.
All right, we gotta do one burial of the summer, and then we're gonna make our wildest wrestling prediction for the summer.
Okay.
All right, who's your burial of the summer is gonna be?
The Usos are gonna get buried this summer, big time. Roman Reigns is gonna go ballistic on them, and they're gonna have a rough summer. That's all I'm gonna say for that. What about you? Who's your burial of the summer?
Honestly, Dominic Mysterio.
Okay, he's just gonna continue to get buried. Nothing will change.
Yeah, we haven't seen him since Veer, right?
So, yeah, you're hurting bad.
Wildest prediction before we have to end our show.
My wildest prediction. I'm gonna say, despite everything that you've seen with him getting booked recently, Sami Zayn is gonna win the Money in the Bank briefcase. That's right. What? Sami Zayn is gonna break the conspiracy against him. He's gonna win the Money in the Bank briefcase, and you know what? He's going to successfully cash in. Probably not this summer, but whenever he does cash in, it will be successful, and we'll see Sami Zayn as a world champion. That's my bold prediction.
All right, what my bold prediction: SummerSlam, Theory versus Cena.
Ooh, that's been rumored a little bit. Do you see the comparison between Cena and Theory? Like, I think it was Vince McMahon that reported it or something. That they said like this guy is the next John Cena. It was Austin Theory. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay. But it's completely different.
With Cena, try to make it quick. With Cena's track record at SummerSlam, Theory's winning.
There you go. There you go. Okay, well, I'm so glad y'all tuned in. I know it was a lot different than we've ever had in the past, but I hope you appreciated this ad-free episode of The Burial Ground. I just want to say thank you all for watching throughout the entire semester. I know it's been an interesting semester, to say the least. This was, of course, our first time on the air, and I really appreciate anyone that's ever tuned in, anyone that you might have shared it with or whatever. It really means a lot. I love this show, and it made my semester a lot better. Clyde, you got any?
Yeah, I think everyone that watched The Burial Ground for the episodes that we were a part of, even the episode that I wasn't a part of, thank you for all those who shared it, subscribe to it, comment, Facebook posts, Instagram posts, Twitter, however. I just thank y'all so much for allowing me, Jack, to be on your television stream. Thank you, WTOP 10, for this opportunity. And we'll see y'all next fall.
Yeah, lots of big things to come for this series. You don't want to miss it. There's a lot of great ideas. Some of them might be turned down because they're a little too crazy. However, I'll get what I can on the air. And we've got some great ideas. So yes, thank you so much.